500 witnesses.
Yeah, 500 witnesses.
We have 500 accounts?
We don't have to have 500 accounts.
Well, you and I seem to have a totally different definition of what a witness is.
You're asking me to tell you. You're asking me to bring up 500 accounts when the people back then were largely illiterate.
So if you go to court, how do you think they define a witness? Something someone states, or an actual account?
A witness is someone who actually saw an event actually happen.
Right. So if I go to court and I have a witness for a crime, they have to have a testimony, right?
Yeah.
What use is a witness with no testimony?
I'm not saying they don't have a testimony. They don't
you have 500 testimonies?
Yes, I have 500 testimonies. They're not 500. They're probably
Really?
not 500 written testimonies.
Well, then you don't have them. Well, then what? In what sense do you have those testimonies, David?
Okay. Again, let me give you the historical backdrop of this. Like when the Apostle Paul challenged the Corinthian readers when he brought that up, he was like saying there's 500. He challenged them to go talk to those 500 witnesses themselves if they don't believe him, and and if he was lying about that, no, he would not have said that if he was lying, because they would have easily discredited him right away.
So Paul was telling the truth because he's not a liar?
Just by going to those 500 people, if Paul was lying, they could have went to the 500 people and they would have said, no, what's he talking about? We didn't see that. And Paul would have been discredited right then and there.
But my point is, you claim you have 500 witnesses with 0 testimonies from the 500.
Okay.
You have one person claiming 500 witnesses. You don't actually have 500 witnesses.
We do. We have.
All right, where are they?
We have.
Give me an example of one
12
of them.
witnesses right here.
12 witnesses
right here.
No.
Yeah, in the New Testament.
All 12
witnesses.
Oh, really? There's 12 Gospels?
What?
12 Gospels?
No. There's 12 apostles.
Right, and only 4 of them wrote Gospels?
Actually, Peter wrote a letter. Paul wrote a letter. Timothy wrote a letter.
All right.
Mark.
I'm not going to get way too into this. You haven't demonstrated 500 witnesses or one single testimony from 500.
I have demonstrated. I showed you.
So you have 500 testimonies.
I showed you. No, I showed you the witnesses that we do have.
So someone's saying there's a witness that has value to you when there in fact is no evidence of that witness.
Someone's saying you can go talk to these 500 witnesses, and then you go in to talk to those 500 witnesses, and then they confirm it. That has value.
Oh, they confirmed it?
Yeah, obviously.
So some guy wrote down what these 500 people said. All 500.
Oh, again, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm understanding. You don't have any witnesses.
Paul told those Corinthian readers to go talk to those 500 witnesses if they don't believe him.
So
if Paul was lying, when they went to go talk to those 500 witnesses, they would have said, no, we did not see anything. Paul's being dishonest, and Paul's credibility would have been diminished. But the fact that those Corinthian readers went and talked to those 500 witnesses, and they all said he's telling the truth to them, and they believed them, that holds weight. In any courtroom setting, if you have 500 witnesses all saying the same thing, that would be enough.
So how did they look up the 500 witnesses?
They were well known. There was
the name. 500 people are just well known. People memorize 500 people. It's just a common thing people all knew.
For all we know, Paul could have been taught 500 witnesses in the city of Corinth. Corinth was a huge city. There could have easily been 500 witnesses there.
All right. How did they look up the 500?
They were probably people that they knew.
All right.
I don't know how they looked them up.
Well, I mean, we have no accounts of these 500 people. It fascinates me. This is one of the worst. I can't believe any Christian would ever use this argument, because it is literally. And I used to claim to be a Christian. I would never even imagine using this argument. Some guy said Some guy said 500 people sell something. Well, he wouldn't lie about it. 500
They would
witnesses.
don't.
There we go. Spike the ball.
Oh, okay, you're straw manning me. I'm saying that when they go talk to those 500 witnesses, like if Paul was lying, then his reputation would have been tarnished.
I'm saying you don't have 500 witnesses.
I'm saying we have, like, I'm not saying we have 500, like,
You have
written
claims.
eyewitnesses.
You have claims of 500 witnesses.
I'm not saying.
Perhaps one is from Paul, and perhaps one is from the Corinthians. But you don't have the actual 500.
I'm not saying. I never once said we have 500 written accounts.
You don't have 500 witnesses.
I'm not saying we have 500 written accounts or 500 written down.
Then how is that a witness to anything if you have no accounts?
We have eyewitness accounts. We don't have 500, but we do have eyewitness accounts.
You're right. You don't have 500 witness accounts. That's right. You don't have 500 witnesses.
We have the eyewitness testimony of the apostles themselves.
But not of 500 people.
We have the eyewitness testimony written down. We'll talk about written down. If you're talking about written down.
Well, what else would it be, David? They didn't have video cameras.
If we written down, we have eyewitness testimony of the apostles.
But not 500.
Oh my gosh. I'm not saying. Okay, again, I think you're missing. When I said the 500 witnesses, like, I was talking about back then. Right now, I'm talking, like, when it comes to written down, we have 12 accounts written down because of the apostles.
Perhaps you do.
We
don't know these were actually accounts of Jesus.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't know that.
We have no reason not to believe them.
We have lots of reasons to believe them.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
We had early testimony. They're the earliest works that we have.
Right, they're decades after he supposedly died.
No, they were only.
I'm so impressed.
They were only 15 to 20 years after he died.
Yeah, 20 years. That's 2 decades, buddy.
Then that's not that long.
Yeah, it is long. That's way long.
You know how long 9/11 was?
Yeah. We actually have contemporaneous accounts of that, don't we?
But 9/11 had, we still remember that clear as day, though. Without reading anything, we still remember that clear as day. I still remember exactly where I was at, what I was doing.
I think it'd be strange if people started reporting on 9/11 in 2021.
Psychology has already proven that when you go through a traumatic experience, you remember that clearly for the rest of your life. Like, if I saw someone raised from the dead, that's a pretty traumatic experience. You're not going to forget that.
So if people started reporting on 9/11 in 2021, that would be a good evidence to you. That wouldn't sound suspicious. It's only 20 years.
If people were still talking about 9/11, like that actually proves my point. They still remember 9/11.
No, if people started reporting on it in 2021, that would be good evidence to you.
They weren't reporting on it. Okay, again, you're assuming that the apostles waited 20 years before they started reporting on it. That's not true. They were reporting on it shortly. They didn't write it down until 20 years later.
Right.
They were reporting it way before that, the whole time before that.
We don't have any evidence that there were any accounts during his life.
Yeah, we do.
Give me one.
The Gospels.
Those are written later.